Hey y'all, welcome to another video with my wild Mustang Kirby. This was back on training day 4, filmed all the way back in July. I wanted to do some desensitizing. I started with something that he'd done before, which is where I just throw the rope over him and get him used to that feeling. It gets him used to touch and having objects put on them. He was reacting a little bit to the flies on him. They were definitely bothering him, and occasionally he would get a bit startled when the rope came up in his vision, so I tried to repeat that motion for him to see and realize it was not a threat. I did a bit more of that, and then I brought out the stick and string, which again is something he's seen before. I always want to start out with a bit more in their comfort zone and then move on to something new for them. All these little steps in the beginning help build trust and prepare him for things I'm going to ask him for later on. Cooking is not fun. Speaking from experience. He's one of the best Mustangs that I've had with his feet. He really does not care about things touching his legs, which is really good for him. So then I brought out my ribbon wand, and as always when introducing something new, I want it in its least scary possible form, so I have all the ribbons up in my hand so they're not flowing around and spooking him. So I just let him sniff it and then take it away. I want to help encourage his curiosity. Here he got a little spooked by something that was going on in the pen next to him, and I don't worry if he's a bit distracted by other things going on. It's a lot to ask him to focus on me when there's other stuff happening. So he got a bit of a break, and then I wanted him to see the ribbons from a distance first and see them waving around before I asked him to check them out while they're in his space. So I let him know basically all the sounds and movements that they can make, and he got a bit startled, which is pretty normal. It's a pretty scary thing for a wild Mustang to see. It probably looks like a bunch of snakes. So I just tried to give him some time. He was definitely a bit cautious about them being on the ground, especially. So one thing I'll do when I'm introducing horses to something new is have them follow it. For whatever reason, it helps them build some confidence. I think it makes them feel like they're in control of it a little bit, almost like tracking a cow. So I'm letting him follow it and trying to see if I can get him to sniff it. And then, as always, I introduce things in small doses. I don't want to just go in there and try to cover him with ribbons. That will inevitably end up with him spooking and trying to get away from them. I don't want him to think that new experiences or new objects that he sees are going to end up with incredibly stressful situations where he feels like he tries to escape. I want him to approach new things with curiosity and start to build confidence and trust in me. So here he got a little bit of sticky feet, and I was trying to encourage him to go forward because at the same time I'm working on teaching leading, and I want him to learn to come off the pressure of the lead rope. And so I encouraged him forward, and then I tried to ask him to lead again while following the scary thing. He's understandably reluctant, but he gave me a really good try here. I really like the ribbon wands because once you start touching them with it, most horses go, oh, it's soft and it doesn't hurt. And some of them actually start to like that it keeps the flies off their face, which I had a feeling that Kirby would like. And so it looks scary, it's bright and colorful, it moves and makes noise if you move it really fast, but at the same time it's really soft and they typically enjoy being touched with it. So I think it's a really great training tool to get them used to noisy and fast moving things around them. However, in the beginning, I'm not going to move it very fast at all because I don't want to frighten him too quickly.
Yeah, it's because it's so bad.
Am I dancing? My horse is gonna have to have a lot of dancing desensitizing because he was quite scared of me running by his pin.
Anytime I catch myself staying in the same spot for too long, I try to unstick his feet by having him follow it again. It's a good mental break for him, and it helps make sure that he's with me and he's learning. This is where I can start to move a little faster, literally, and also with the steps that I'm taking going a little quicker, because I've built that trust in the beginning and I've helped him realize that it's not going to hurt him no matter where it is on his body. So I'm able to move pretty quickly down the right side of him, taking it on and off him, and the same with the left. And he's basically just like, yeah, all right, it's the same thing that touched my face. It's the same thing. I followed around. It's probably not going to hurt. And then he was really good here for it touching his back legs.
Can you please keep it on my face? It keeps the flies off. There. Much better.
Wow, we're getting closer to leading.
Nice. Bam. Bam. It's okay.
If you're wondering, he was kicking the ground because there were some ants in his pen and they had gotten on me the previous day, which was super annoying.
Now it's all slow. Someone's inevitably going to be like, that horse is kicking the ground a lot. It's clearly stressed. Yeah, good job. Eat it. Bite it. Good job.
So here I just wanted him to get used to it dragging on the ground, as he's eventually going to have to get used to dragging objects himself, which is something I like to do when I'm saddle training them. Kirby said, "That looks like a whole lot of snakes on the ground. I don't really know if I want to be a part of that." So then I wanted to work on touch with my hand, using what he's learned from having the ribbon wand all over him.
More relaxed about touch since we did the ribbon sticking. Yeah. That's good.
He likes this stick a lot better.
That's funny.
Then I did some work on being able to switch hands and then eventually touch him with both hands. So this is another thing the ribbon wand helps with, because there's more to it than just a rope or a sticking string.
I don't think he is going to. No. Look at this. Boy, that's good for 2 hands.
I'm done asking him to do things.
I'm just screwing around.
Then I went to give him a bit of a refresher about his feet, just picking up where we left off previously. I just do a little bit each day and slowly get them solid about their feet. He was, as you can see, leaning back quite a bit and pretty unsure about this. I probably could have picked it up another time, but honestly the next day when I tried to pick up this foot, he was pretty much perfect. It just comes with building that confidence and trust. He was really good for his right front though, and I called it a day with that. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm excited to continue with Kirby's series.